Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So, as you can tell from the title of the thumbnail, this is a first for me on my channel, and it's a reading wrap-up video. As you can tell from the title of the thumbnail, like I said, for May. And, I've never been a huge TBR person. There was a while where I was doing Insta Kingdom, it was going fine. It sometimes felt a little bit too constricting for me, and I'm very much a mood reader, and I would end up feeling guilty for not sticking to my TBR pile, which is why I veered away from set TBR piles. There are I have a loose, I guess what you could call a loose TBR pile where I have the books that I want to read soon, but I don't necessarily have a set TBR pile. I don't do monthly TBR piles just because, like I said, it's a little too constricting for me. However, I've been thinking about doing this kind of video reading wrap-ups for a while now. I figured I'd do a test video just to see how it goes, see how it does on my channel, and then go from there. So, with all of that said, we're going to get into this video. I'm going to talk to you about the statistics. I'm going to do the statistics from StoryGraph, and then I'm going to kind of talk to you about highs and lows for this month. So, first and foremost, 15 books read, 4,056 pages read, and then 19.33 hours listened to. Now, this can vary because I am recording this a couple days before May officially ends. It's the 28th right now, but I'm at a point with my reading where I'm probably not going to read too much more. The pages and the hours listened to, that can definitely increase by a little bit, but not by much. So as for the books read, that's probably all I'm gonna actually finish in May. And I realized when I was looking at this, it says 15 books read, and I had marked 14 books for my book buying ban for May, and honestly, that really helped with the increase in my books read, I feel. But in that video, I said 14 books, so that I was buying 4 books. I'm gonna keep it at that. Keep it for how many books I read at least. I unhauled. I'm not going to talk too much about this part, but I unhauled 8 books. I think I would read a couple of them this month. I tried to. So that means I could buy 2 more books, which meant 6 in total. But I'm gonna keep it. But because it says 15 books read, which one did I not include? I'm not talked about. Maybe okay, it might have been Chocolate Chip Cookie Murder by Joanne Fluke. Yeah, I think it was that one. But I think I'm gonna keep it at even though I read 15 books and technically could add an additional book to buy, I think I'm just gonna keep it at the 14 so I can buy 4 books, at least from what I read. Based on how many I read, just to keep it as minimally confusing as possible. Almost choked there. So, the next time I do another book buying ban, I think I'm going to approach it a little bit differently to try to shake it up a little bit, change it up a little bit. But yeah, 15 books read, a little over 4,000 pages read, and a little over 19 hours listened to. And let's see, I'm just going to do the top 5. Average time to finish was about 3 days, which makes sense because there was a good chunk of time where I was blazing through the books, especially when I was reading Magic Knight Birth right here. It's I was blazing through those because they were really quick, so I think that quickened my average time to finish. And then I have, for moods, I'm gonna do the top 5. So mysterious, there were 8 books. Adventurous, there were 8 books. Those both make sense. Emotional was 5 books. 3 tense books, 3 dark books, 2 lighthearted books, and then all the others were like 1 book. So 1 sad book, 1 reflective, 1 informative, 1 funny, and 1 challenging. And I feel like there was like at least, I mean, I think these numbers just vary based on like the averages for what people put in. Like what's the highest average mood for what people have put in for that book. I don't think it calculates it based on what you put in for the book, so I wish it would though. So anyway, pacing, 27% of the books were fast-paced, so that's about 4 books. About 3 books were slow-paced, and that's about 20%. And then about 8 books, about 53%, were medium-paced. Page number, 46% were 300 pages to 499 pages. That's about 6 books. And then 7 books were less than 300. That's about 54%. That tracks. Audiobooks, all of the audiobooks that I listened to so far, both of them were between 8 hours and 15 hours and 59 minutes. So that was like 100% of them. Again, it was only 2. Fiction versus non-fiction. All 15 books were fiction, so 100%. And genres, fantasy 8 books, manga 6, mystery 3, and then thriller, literary, and historical are all tied at 2 books. And then LGBTQIA+, science fiction, and romance are all tied at 1 book, and I'm pretty sure it's all the same book. Shake Out the Ghosts. So, format, about 2% of the books that I listened to were audiobooks. No, not 2%. 2 of the books that I listened to were audiobooks, and that's about 13%. And then the rest were print books, physical books, the other 13, and that's about 87%. My average rating was 4.7, which I think was a little bit lower. Never mind, it's a little bit lower. But I had about 9 4-star reads. I had 9 4.5-star reads. And then the next, so I had 1 4-star read, 1 3.5, 1 3.25, 1 3-star read, 1 2.75-star read, and then 1 book that I did not rate. I did review it, I just did not rate it. So those are the stats. And then some like extra info. I marked it as like a section called extra info. Well, this is kind of shorter than what I was expecting, but it is what it is. Like I said, it's a tester video, so some extra info. So 15 books, I read about 56 books in total for this year. So the 15 books that I've read in May make up about 27% of the books that I've read so far this year. And honestly, like, I think this is one of the best months so far this year. My favorite book of the year was Chocolate Chip Cookie Maker by Joanne Fluke. I absolutely love that. I think it was like the perfect amount of cozy mystery, and I think I'm discovering that that's my preferred murder mystery niche, cozy mystery, with like a hint of like baking, because it's like the Thursday Murder Club, which I also read this month. What's her name? Why am I thinking? Not Elizabeth. The other one. Anyway, the other main female character who joins the Thursday Murder Club, she bakes cakes and like she'll be baking a lot. So it's like that wasn't a huge part of the plot. It's like with the chocolate chip cookie murder, but like it's cozy murder mystery. So I think I'm finding my niche within murder mystery stuff. And then my least favorite book was Wild Dark Shore, and I gave that a 2.75 stars. And a large part of, like, I've made my peace with it. I wasn't upset that I rated it so low. I mean, I was a little bit, and I've made my peace with it just because I know that I really did fall into the hype and all that talk that was surrounding it, which I think it was my lowest rated book, but I do think the hype is understandable, and I do think to some extent it is worth the hype as long as you're going into it with the right expectations. So yeah, that was my least favorite book. And then I had 2 DNFs this month. The Winter Sea by Susanna Kearsley. And like I started reading it, but I think I can't do ebooks right now, and Libby only had it available as an ebook, so I'm either gonna wait for the audiobook or borrow the physical book from my library. And then I did a soft DNF of Kin by Tayari Jones. I just it is kind of like a literary historical fiction, more so lit fic, with some historical fiction in it. And I tried to read it soon after Wild Dark Shore, and it was just I can't do another lit fic and then be disappointed by it. So it's a soft enough right now. We'll see if I decide to pick it back up. But that is the end of this video. If you want to see more of these reading wrap-up videos, let me know down below in the comments, because I would be interested in doing more. But with all that said, to ask a question, if you made it this far in the video, let me know what your favorite book was so far in the year and or in May. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.